We're all in the midst of what I consider to be a really good match between Roman Reigns and Sheamus on Raw before the festivities were interrupted by Bray Wyatt. It was implied that Wyatt was backstage having a tea party with Roman Reigns' daughter. So what does Roman Reigns do in the result? He aborts the match, heads to the back in search of Bray, only to find an empty chair in a creepy looking room with pictures of Reigns plastered all across the wall, along with the words, "Anyone but you." I think at the very least we all supported the potential of this feud, but do you buy or sell Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns at its current stage?
Right now, I'm going to have to sell it. There's just not enough there for me yet. You know what I mean? Like, you can do all these little things here and there.
No, I don't know what you mean.
It just feels like it's going to be another Bray Wyatt feud, and until they prove otherwise,
I kind of agree with that.
Sit on that.
I understand what he's saying. I still buy it reluctantly, but I do feel like there's not enough there. I see where he's coming from. I like what Bray Wyatt's doing, but Reigns' reaction was a bit odd to me. I don't know if I'm just not getting something, but when you have Bray Wyatt doing the tea party thing on the Titantron, and the implication is that he's with Reigns' daughter, you have to, if you put yourself in Reigns' shoes, I'd be like, well, bitch, you don't have my daughter. I know where my daughter is. She's not even in the same state. So it's like I don't know. It's like Reigns seemed very overly dramatic in his concern. I could understand if he'd be pissed off that Bray Wyatt was using his daughter to get to him, but he seemed more concerned than pissed off, which to me was just a very strange psychological reaction, and it seemed kind of cartoony to me. But I like what Bray Wyatt's doing. I like that he's incorporating his daughter into it. I like the thing where he saw Bray Wyatt's room and it had all those creepy pictures. Maybe that was a bit over the top, but I still thought it was okay. I just think that there's something missing. You know, if they really want to go all the way with this, I'd say bring in Reigns' daughter for real and have
absolutely
Bray Wyatt.
not. Absolutely not. That would be a hot-ass mess. Once you start bringing in all these outside things, some of it starts to lose its factor for me. If I have Roman Reigns, this badass, I don't want to see his daughter. Like, I want to see her on commercials and the things like that where they're advocating him being a father or that kind of stuff, but I don't want to see his daughter on TV. It kind of takes away from the Roman Reigns character, and I don't think he's one of those characters, period, that I didn't even really want him to acknowledge he had a daughter. Like, with a Daniel Bryan or someone like that, one of those more, regular Joe characters, or like a John Felix Anthony Cena, I think you could probably acknowledge that. But with somebody like a Roman Reigns...
Cena.
No, I've seen a little Total Divas. I know he's not going to have those. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I just think with the Roman Reigns character, it humanizes him too much.
I'm not sure. I see where you're coming from. I think that he was a badass, but that time has come and gone. You know, his badass factor has been lost for a long time. So now that it's already ruined, I say give him some interesting dimensions, and his humanity having to do with his daughter I really like. If you're going to involve the daughter, to me you got to actually show that she's in some sort of peril, you know. The implication that he is having a tea party with his daughter who's probably in another state doesn't do it for me. I'm not even saying do it like a real hard thing. I'm just saying, how about one episode you bring in Reigns' daughter, and she's like ringside, happy to see her dad, and then maybe Bray Wyatt comes over to her because she's in the front row, and he just kind of like gives her a pat on the head or something. You know, I don't know, man. Just some sort of real interaction.
See, here's the thing. Like, if they were to do something like that, this past week on Monday Night Raw would have been the day to actually do it. Like, I don't see Roman Reigns knowing what's going on with Bray Wyatt. Like, okay, well, this guy acted like he kidnapped you when you were in another fucking state. I'm going to bring you to the arena that this guy is in. Like, I can't see that happening from this point. But going back to what you were talking about, earlier, it's a very thin line that WWE has to walk here to where they have Roman Reigns selling the effects of a psychological game that Bray Wyatt is playing, and then on the other side of that line is Roman Reigns coming off like a complete dumbass, because you do have to ask a few questions in this situation. For example, why would you think he kidnapped your daughter? Like, did you bring her to the damn arena? Was she backstage? Did you leave her backstage? Like, what made him think that? Like, it's weird, and I guess those are questions that you have to ask with things like this. But even with that being said, I am still buying this, because I think it's great that Bray Wyatt is tapping into the Roman Reigns derangement syndrome, as I like to call it, that a lot of the fans out there are feeling towards this guy, because just the same things that Bray Wyatt is saying, a lot of the fans are saying that as well. Anyone but Reigns and shit. I'm pretty sure that they have their little voodoo shrines dedicated to Roman Reigns in their house too. So yeah, I think it all fits, and I think that Roman Reigns showing a little bit of vulnerability, just a little bit, enough to kind of like work as a slingshot, pull him back just a little bit so he can launch forward at a stronger rate. I think that that's the key here. Not too much vulnerability, just enough to give him a bit of an edge, something to fight for, and I think that's where the money is with Bray Wyatt.
See, I also, like, when you say that, though, like, with the whole daughter thing, I guess even, like, okay, let's just give them that they're going to do it and you have no way around it. I still would have preferred, like, for this whole segment, if at one point maybe you saw, like, Roman Reigns bringing his daughter in or whatever, and you're saying, oh, wrestlers were invited to bring their children for Father's Day or something like that. They came to the show for Father's Day and they all came backstage or whatever, and you showed, like, multiple different wrestlers, then you have a reason to understand why Roman Reigns would be like, oh, gosh, my daughter, oh, no. This just made him look like a dipshit.
Yeah,
I mean, on the plus side, he stopped the match with Sheamus at just the right time, because we were getting past that amount of offense that Sheamus has that he knows how to do. So,
haters.
You think Sheamus has limited offense? Who was his opponent in that match, man?
His opponent looked better than he did.